I'm Dave Fulson. Welcome back to the Trijicon live stream event right here in Dallas, Texas at the DSC convention. Whether you're coming along on the ride today via YouTube, Instagram, or Facebook, we're excited to have you here and we're excited to be here today. And one of the reasons is the scope I'm holding in my hand, the Trijicon Credo HX. I want to show you a quick video and you'll know why. Well, the Credo HX is just one of the reasons I'm happy to be here and excited to be here today. And, the people that are up here with me is a whole lot of that equation. And, of course, we've got John Fink, a product manager from Trijicon. We've got my old buddy Mike Handback. Now, most of you, you've read Mike. You've seen him on TV for a long time. And he is the host of Big Deer TV. That's and right. Very few people that I know have got more experience with Big Deer than you, Mike. And we've been talking about this scope, and I think not just a deer hunter. You've traveled this globe back and forth a bunch of times. We started talking about it as a deer scope. Boy, it does a whole lot more.
It does. And, Dave, I've used Trijicon scopes now for a decade. And I know what they're all about. The quality, the clarity, the ruggedness, all that. I don't use any other scope now.
Yep.
You cannot hunt deer effectively, or any animal really, without a top quality optics. No question about it. Right. So a lot of people, you guys talked earlier about the Huron, John.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's kind of if a guy wants to get, I go on a lot of hunt camps.
Yeah, that's
you
right.
guys say, tell me about Trijicon. Now you're going to see a lot more of those Hurons in hunting camp.
No question about it.
So a lot of the people that watch big deer and a lot of the average deer hunters are going to get into it that way. But then we also have discerning hunters on top of that.
Yep.
They're going to want to move up to a scope that's got a few more things like illumination and all that. Well, and the Credo HX, perfect for that.
A master mechanic is going to have a toolbox, and he's going to have various tools in that box to accomplish different tasks in front of them. Exactly. And this does that. This is a step up.
That's right.
Yeah, exactly. So, the Credo HX standing for the hunter, okay? But the Credo line is the LED illuminated line. So all of these have a 10 setting illumination. You have the choice of either red or green, with the one exception in our 1:8 by 28. It's 5 settings of red, 5 settings of green. But the HX line across the board is in this satin finish. So something that's going to look a little bit more appropriate maybe on top of a traditional bolt action gun or a lever action gun. But of the new lines that we're rolling out, this is one of the largest with 21 total SKUs in it, 6 different reticle options and magnification ranges starting from the 1 to 4 by 24 and going up to the 4 to 16 by 50. So really just any imaginable hunting situation that you can think of, whether it's, something with that low end magnification with a 1 to 4 or a 1 to 6 or up to that 416 is covered with the Credo HX line.
Now's a good time to say at some point today we're going to try to pry this out of Mike's hands because he can't take this one home, but you might take this one home today. We're going to give away a scope. So make sure you make a comment if you have a question. We are live, and we'll be happy to answer that on the air. And again, all you have to do to be eligible is to make a comment. If you're the winner, we will PM you, and you will own this scope. Now, Mike, we were talking earlier, and you know, people that said, you know, I couldn't afford, you know, illuminated technology, you know, well, this is really, you can now. And there's a reason. There are some times, it's not necessary in all hunting situations, but there are times, you know, where a lighted reticle, and this one has the LED, red and green, makes a difference. And probably no animal I can think of where that comes into play more than a big whitetail, because we know when they come out, early, late.
No question, you have that low light capability.
Yep.
And I'm gonna tell you something, after using Trijicons now for a decade and the AccuPoint a lot, my eye is just drawn to that illuminated reticle.
Sure.
No question. If you use these type of scope, this LED right here,
Yep.
red or green, and your eye, the more you shoot, the more you hunt with it, it's gonna be second instinct. You're gonna put it up, you're gonna aim small on that deer, elk, shoulder, whatever, and you're gonna shoot better with it.
Yeah,
And I'm a big believer in that. And by moving up from the Huron to the scope, you get that.
Yeah, and I agree with that. I had the good fortune and honor to be able to hunt with these this past spring in a 1-6 by 24, and had the green LED illumination and just illuminating that green LED center dot. And as you mentioned, Mike, it just draws your eye to it.
It really does.
And helps you put that right on target and touch it off.
Well, John, we filmed that hunt for a colossal brown bear out on the Alaskan Peninsula, about as far as you can go out. And, you know, when I think of Trijicon, you know, I always, you know, my background's probably more African than North American, but, you know, I always say, well, it's Africa proof. Well, let me tell you what, that scope right there is also Alaska proof, and no better proving ground than where you were at.
Exactly. I mean, over those 7 days, it was subjected to everything from sleet to snow to rain to volcanic sand that was being driven by the wind, sometimes 70, 80 miles an hour, and temperature ranges going from the 30s up to the 60s. So, and the scope held up. The LED illumination never faltered, you know, during the course of that hunt.
And that transfers over for the deer hunter too, because that's like the ultimate test for it.
Yeah.
But you're a whitetail hunter. You're stalking. You maybe have your gun in a boat if you're blacktail hunting somewhere. Maybe you're pulling that thing up and down out of tree stands.
Out of tree stands,
You
right.
know, all year long for months.
Yeah.
You know, and you know that with the Credo HX here, you're going to get that durability. You're going to get that strength and quality and hold that point of impact like all the Trijicons do.
Yeah, and that's exactly right. And that's, you know, a testament to the testing that we do.
That's right.
That is born, you know, in our military heritage and background, but where we're testing it to temperature shock, as well as vibrations and recoil shock, you know, going up to 5,000 rounds of very heavy recoil. All the things that we subject these scopes to, you know, make it, you know, a very durable, high-quality scope in the
I
field.
love that there's no sacrifice in quality, clarity, anything with any of these new hunting scopes. And that just means a lot to the hunter. It's just what you need.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
And remember, if you'll make a comment or if you have a question, all you need to do is log in, give us a comment, and somebody is going to take this very scope home with them.
If they can get it away from me.
If they can get it, well, I've already got it away from you. Now it's mine now. But you know, Mike, another thing, again, going back to the tool analogy, you know, this thing comes in a wide variety of magnifications. Larry was talking a little bit ago about the 1-4, perfect for maybe a slug gun situation, you know, and I agree, but this one goes from, you know, 4 to 16. And I know you are going to be hunting a lot of things besides whitetail this year with this.
Now, this is the 2.5 to 15 by 42. It's one of
Right.
John's favorites.
That's good. I think that's going to be my all-round
Mine
favorite
too, and I'm
in
gonna
this
tell you
line.
why. There are a couple of reasons. Number one, this is a low-profile scope.
Mm-hmm.
I love to mount my scopes as low as possible I can on a rifle
Agreed.
for accuracy and comfort in shooting.
Yeah,
that.
just for a proper cheek
That's
weld.
exactly right. Number two, this scope right here is going to give me all the versatility I need. I might be in Maine hunting the thick woods, and I got to power down my magnification. The next week, I may be in Wyoming, where shots could be 200, 300 yards, whatever. Then I might be up in Alberta, Saskatchewan, and need a mid-range magnification. You need versatility in the scope. The Credo HX has that.
What's on your hunting calendar this year? I know we were talking a little bit earlier. There's a whole lot more than whitetail, and that'll still be the scope.
Yeah, no, if you're, you know, the thing people need to understand when they're buying a whitetail scope is that you're buying it primarily for your deer hunting. But, you know, guys are gonna wanna go hunt an elk. They're gonna hunt a mule deer. They may wanna go something crazy like a sheep or a goat or somewhere. You know, this one scope, in one package, in one sleek, awesome design, has it all.
Well, I've got a couple of safari clients that are going to come out,
right.
and they're booking leopard hunts. I know not everybody's going to hunt a leopard, but I always tell a client that's wanting to book a cat hunt, I don't want to hear about their caliber. I'm not as worried about their bullet. I say, what scope are you bringing? I want you to bring an illuminated reticle, because the same thing as your big whitetail, our big leopards, and they get up in that tree late and they're there early. And the difference between, you know, making an effective shot,
doubt.
you don't want to be dropping a black crosshair down on a silhouetted cat. Has bad consequences if you miss. Hey, we've got our first question. Dan has asked, what does the HX stand for? John?
Yeah, so we have two Credos. We have the standard Credo and then the Credo HX. So your standard Credos are all going to be a matte finish. The HX, which we intended more for the hunting crowd, many of which will be hunting with a, you know, satin blued rifle. So we went with the satin finish and more MOA adjusters. In fact, everything in the Credo HX line is an MOA-based adjuster and MOA subtensions on the reticle.
Okay. Another question. What does credo mean? And this is interesting.
Well, you know, credo is a belief or principle that guides you. So, you know,
I'm gonna get a big buck. I'm gonna get a big
exactly. So this credo is going to guide you in the field and help lead you to that big buck and hunt of a lifetime.
I'm thinking of the guy we all know, the postman. What is it? Neither rain nor sleet or snow or hail is going to keep us from succeeding.
Right.
Same thing with the credo
Exactly.
HX.
good karma with it, that's right.
Now, Josh has asked, can I only use the Credo HX for hunting? What about three-gun competitions? That's a really good question.
Yeah, I mean, we have 6 different reticles, you know, in the Credo HX line, one of which is a segmented circle. We also, you know, have just the illuminated center dot in 223 and 308 subtension. So absolutely, you can use the HXs in 3-gun.
Okay, we got some great questions. Another one from Taylor. Taylor asked, what caliber are these scopes rated for?
You know, for example, you know, the 1 to 6 by 24 that I mentioned on the brown bear hunt, I was shooting a 375 H&H.
Yeah.
So, I mean, everything from your 17 calibers right on up, you're not going to have any issues.
Okay. Porter asked, how much does it weigh?
You know, you're going to be, typically speaking, because you've got the LED illumination here, some of them do have side adjust parallax, you're going to be looking in the low 20-ounce starting range.
Okay. Our next question is from James. James asked, what's the price range? And boy, that's really where this scope shines.
Yeah, within the Credo family as a whole, you're from $799 to $1799.
Yeah.
So, and it's, like I said, you've got, you know, over 21 SKUs just in the HX family,
Just
and
in the
another
HX.
23 in the regular Credo.
That's it.
So,
All right. Matthew asked, what about the battery life? That's really a good question. And do they have an auto off feature?
there is an auto off feature in between each setting. So you have 10 settings, and each half setting, if you will, is an off feature. In terms of battery life, it is different for both red and green, and it's different in each scope, but there's a full list of charts that's published on our new website.
Okay, and speaking of settings, Ian has asked us, how many settings does the illumination have?
They each have 10 settings, okay? So everything across the board from the 1 to 4 up to the 4 to 16 is 10 settings in either red or green. Now in the 1 to 8 by 28, it's 10 settings, but 5 red and 5 green.
Now, look, those are some great questions, and we want you to keep those questions coming and your comments coming. We are having a giveaway. We are going to be giving one of these away. Now, there's more scopes to come this afternoon. In fact, I'm going to have my old buddy Blake Barnett up next. We're going to be talking about the 10-mile HX, and then we really, our big announcement later this afternoon, we are going to have a real breakthrough in technology. That's something, I think it may be the most talked about breakthrough that Trigicon's ever come up. Everybody's going to be talking about the product.
changer.
And it's a game changer, and it is coming your way next. You know, Mike, one more thing. You know, when people price scopes, you know, as quality goes up, sometimes, you know, price is going to reflect that. But a scope is not just something for this year. It is, if you buy a quality scope, that's something you're going to use on this rifle. It doesn't have to always be on the same rifle. The calibers and rifles can change. The scope, it can jump over to what your situation is. But a product like the Credo HX, that's going to be something that you hunt your entire life with it. You pass down to your kids. They're probably going to pass down. This is a piece of equipment that truly will last many hunting
It's an
lifetimes.
investment. Like I say, again, and I can't say this enough, you cannot hunt effectively with deer or whatever unless you have a top quality optic. You know, rifle, muzzleloader, most of them are great today. You have good enough hunting accuracy. But you need like the Credo HX, a good quality scope is an investment. It's going to make you a better hunter. And like you say, something you can pass down, be proud of, make your experience that much more enjoyable.
We're only as good as our gear.
Gotcha.
Guys, thanks for being with us, and thank you for being with us. And don't go anywhere. I've got Blake Barnett, and we're going to be talking about another offering from Trijicon called the 10 Mile HX.